Hello, hello, hello everybody. How is everyone doing? I am back again with the final stream of the FTX Crypto Cup. I think the games have already started. I think, 5 minutes late. So, without any introduction as such, let's see how the game started between Wesley and Magnus Carlsen. So, today is the second leg of the finals in this FTX Crypto Cup. And whoever wins today's matchup wins the whole tournament. And yeah, I will be providing some commentary to my best abilities. And let's see how this game started here. Magnus Carlsen is with the white pieces and he starts with d4. Wow, okay. So it's transposing into a queen's gambit with a very early c5 break here by Wesley. So takes on c4, bishop takes, h6 followed by b5, and then we have bishop back to e2. And now black here is trying to basically get space on the queen side. If you see, white is slightly ahead in development here. Uh, I mean, white is already castled, just maybe bishop. Where do you want to put the bishop in this case for white? Oh, my knight bot is not working, it seems. Oh, it's not responding to my command. What is this? Where is my knight bot? Okay, so let's see what. Yeah, Wesley so continues with his plan with bishop b7. White took on c5, bishop takes, queens are exchanged, knight comes to b3, rook d1, bishop back to b6, and we have a4 on the board, followed by b4. Oh wow, this is some. It's getting interesting now. Black has this bishop pair, although the black bishop is staring into this structure, which is solid right now. So maybe not a threat as of now. Also, the queens are off the board here, and now white has to move the knight somewhere in order to save this piece, right? So where do you move the knight? Uh, so the possible moves, like one idea could be knight to a4, and then in the future we can put the knight either on b6 or c5. I mean, right now you can't put on c5 because then just you lose a piece. Yeah, so he did play knight a4 right now, Magnus, as we were talking about. Because in the future, these can be a good outpost for the knight. Also, this pawn is slightly weak for black. Um, so maybe even the pawn on b4 is slightly weak. Right? Maybe just next few moves, bishop here, try to look for it. So what do you play as black here? Uh, 1 second. If yeah, if people are joining now, please hit the like button so that more people can join in. My night bot is not doing what it's supposed to do. I guess I'll have to reconfigure it. But anyway, let's see what black comes up with. So my idea with black here would be to bring this rook in. No, maybe not this rook. Maybe this rook. So rook h to what do you play as black here? Let's see. So the point of commentating on these matches, I know many grandmasters and many channels are covering this. I like to cover these tournaments primarily because I want to see how grandmasters play and think, and in the meanwhile, I learn from what they are playing and try to understand their moves so that I can also emulate the same in my games. I don't use any engine or anything to see the best move or evaluate the position. I'm just trying to learn here, nothing else. Okay, yeah, so the bishop came to d5 and knight immediately jumped to d4. Oh, Karthik, hello, hello. My rating on leeches is around like 2100, 2050, something like that. And on chess.com, recently I'm not playing much, but it's around 1900 to 2000. Like it fluctuates between them. Uh, okay, so can black, like, how do you defend this pawn if you are black here? Oh, read music. I'm currently living in US, but originally I'm from India. Uh, okay, so the pawn on a6 is weak. Actually, you can't take it because then you lose a piece right now because of tactics, I think. So if I was, let's say, if I am Wesley So and I am black, what would I play as black here? Is the question. Um, maybe I will. I'm just calculating this. Okay, let's say white takes on. Let's say black plays something like knight to e4, and if you play knight to e4, can you take, take? Maybe you can take. Hello, Arvind. Hello. Okay, so he brought the second rook to b8. Interesting. So does this work? Bishop takes a6. Takes. Yeah, this doesn't feel. I mean, you lose a piece, right? Obviously. So you can't take. He has instead defended this b4 pawn. So as white, I would very much want to develop my this bishop because I want to connect my rook, make use of this bishop, uh, but I can't play something like b3 because then just takes, and then win this pawn. So how do you manage your bishop here? Okay, you just put it on d2, I guess. Although this diagonal is not so great, I feel, for this bishop, but in the future maybe something like f3 and e4 can come so that this bishop comes alive. That's the idea, most probably. Uh, let's see. So here black. So also there is some nagging threat of a fork here. So black has to be careful, right? If the bishop was not there, this would have won an exchange right now. And Wesley So is going for some simplification here, it seems. What do you do? I think you take with this, right? Or do you want to plunge this knight on f6? Takes, takes, takes. Actually, maybe you can also go for something like f3 here, threatening to play e4, and then the bishop will be forced to go back to a very passive square, and then maybe you can play something like this. So here, as white, I would probably also consider a move like f3, which seems interesting because I'm not so worried. If you take my knight, I just take back with the rook with a double attack on this pawn. So I'm happy in that case. The knight can't really jump to b3 because just knight takes. So yeah, I would be very strongly considering this move f3 in order to play this. Although then my knight becomes loose, and then oh, I might lose a piece because of this discovered. So maybe not right now. We'll have to prepare f3. Maybe bishop e1 possibility. That would prepare f3 in some sense. I don't know. It seems like a very imbalanced position now. If you see, if you see the piece placement here, maybe white can also go for removing this bishop because that is the piece which is stopping me from forking. So what if I go bishop here, takes, and then take with a pawn so that my king can also come up through this. Lot of ideas, but okay, Magnus just took and Wesley so had pre-moved bishop this capture. Also, this idea is not that great. You don't want to take with the pawn because then you have like a pawn island and then Wesley will have a connected four pawns, which is not good in the end game. So probably mm, maybe you can try knight here now, but then bishop goes back. You don't achieve anything. Yeah. So let's see what are the other possibilities for Magnus Carlsen here. So yesterday's score between Magnus and Wesley So was basically 2-2. Okay, rook a to c1 played by Magnus Carlsen here. Just asking what do you want to do with the bishop. I guess the bishop just uh, do you want to put it on d6 or a7? That's the question here. I guess I would like to put it on d6 because then it's potentially looking towards the enemy king, but it's not a big deal though. So maybe you want to just retreat so that you can, take this knight whenever you want. Um, if I was black here, probably I would also be considering just taking this pawn and creating one more pawn island for white. Uh, I know that is giving up the bishop pair, but you are getting something in return. You can quickly bring the other piece to hit that pawn and maybe put your knight behind that isolated pawn. So you will get some comp for your bishop pair maybe. So takes, pawn has to take. Oh, maybe pawn doesn't have to take straight away. You will give this check. Ah, that's the problem. Oh, he took. But now check? I thought he'll throw in a check. Okay, so he did take that knight for the bishop because of this isolated pawn structure, which white has to deal with now. And now king here to stop this check. Oh, that check was bad actually. If you play this check here, I come with my king here, and then you lose a piece because your rook is hanging and you have not recaptured your piece back. So that would have been a blunder. Thank God, Wesley So is not listening to me. Uh, oh, hello, Pranav. Bro, my rating on Leeches is around 2100, and on chess.com it's like 1900 to 2000. It keeps fluctuating on chess.com. Uh, let's see. Okay, so here actually on time both of them are quite even, I must say. See, 6 minutes for both sides, and Magnus is taking his time. He can put his bishop here for the time being, although that achieves nothing because knight just. Okay, he puts the bishop here, attacking the rook, which is better. Yeah, I mean, right now knight can't jump because takes, but potentially in the future. Can you play? Can you target this pawn? Is what I'm thinking somehow as black. Right now you can't come here because bishop takes. So maybe you go for a rook exchange. Takes. But Magnus might simplify all the things and just go for an endgame where he has the bishop pair and potentially some chances. So Wesley so declines that. Oh, Siddhant, hello. How are you, Siddhant? Long time. Yeah, black declines the rook trade because it was not favorable for black. White has some weaknesses, so black would want to keep pieces on the board so that those weaknesses can be attacked later. If let's say black had played rook here, then we would have gone into an end game with like probably no rooks and two bishops for white and a bishop and a knight for black, which might not be ideal for black. And so if you are a grandmaster and you don't know what to play, you just play h4. Yes, bro. Thanks. Uh, although this mm, weakens the control of g4. Can you just play something like mm, bishop here, let's say, start with bishop to b3. Rook will have to move, but then rook can simply move up, which is not ideal. I was planning to put my bishop somewhere so that this pawn is not defended and then I can attack it. Like my idea is basically somehow to target the weaknesses. So this is a weakness, this is a weakness. It's not easy to attack. It's not easy to attack these pawns. Uh, oh, Arnav is here, it seems. But today I haven't connected the Discord to my. Let's check. Oh, he plays bishop b3. Wow, man. And he played rook d3. the same line happened, which I just mentioned. Uh, Although I didn't consider what will happen after rook d3. I just saw bishop b3 and then rook d3, and probably I was thinking of bishop here and maybe just if rook here, then just go back. Yeah, okay, bishop there. Wow. So they are playing out. Uh, Let me actually. Arnav is also here. Let me see if I can. What about bishop b3, then bishop f3 by white instead of rook d3? Oh, bishop f3. I think then you just go back uh, and block it. And you don't want to exchange because then you just take. Although then it wouldn't have achieved anything. Or did it? What did black play after that? Oh, white is thinking after bishop f4. Right. Interesting. Yeah, I have to make sure that. So white maybe. Oh, what is this? Bishop e5 here. So now white is going for the g7 pawn, I guess. Yeah, bishop. And here you'll have to exchange something. Okay, now f3. So this move, Joseph, yeah, it happened, but maybe in a slightly different order, I would say. Uh, because now if you take, white takes and this hangs. So instead he voluntarily gives up this g7 pawn, but the rook was hanging, so he can't take, obviously. So let's see what happened. Knight jumped, blocking this diagonal. So took, takes, and then he played, yeah, rook g3 and immediately g6. Now white's pieces are getting some activity, and black also has all these dark square weaknesses around the king. Oh, Pawn Star. Yeah, I know. Okay, your name is funny, but I don't know why my name is not getting shown. Uh, Last time when I was streaming, it was visible. For some reason, this stream it's not. Uh, I I think I do have leeches.org in the title, but Wait, lot of moves happening here. Okay, so after rook c5, we have bishop back, rook back to f3. Oh, okay. Oh, nice. I didn't know. I didn't know. Okay, rook back to c1. White doesn't want to exchange now, which is very interesting. So this is some sort of a minority attack where you want to, you know, avoid the pawn push of the other side. Like usually it happens when you want to avoid something like b4, b5, and then you push your own pawn to a4. Magnus is starting to, yeah, it's it's interesting how the position changed. I think one of the moves here was not accurate. Probably this whole idea of leaving this diagonal was not good because this bishop instead joined this diagonal and it doesn't look great after that. And initially, Wesley so declined the rook trade, and now Magnus is declining the rook trade. Wow, so we have this check coming up. Okay, Wesley so very low on time. 1 minute versus 5 minutes. And now there's tactics you can't block because then simply takes, and the bishop is hanging. And this is lost, right? I mean, if you go back, I guess I'll just give a check and pick up this. If you go this side, uh, oh, this is completely lost. Here, check. Let's try to calculate. So one move is just this bishop check. If you go to e8, probably this bishop comes to b6. Uh, yeah. What's the correct check? What's the correct check? That's the thing. See, this doesn't work right now. There's nothing happening. So if we start with rook h8 check, what is happening? Then we just repeat the position, so that's not good. Uh, can we start with rook c7? Rook c7 looks the strongest to me because then how do you defend this bishop? How do you defend this bishop? Maybe just bishop back? Uh, just bishop back, but then okay, not so easy, not so easy. But it feels like Magnus has something. Uh, rook c7, rook takes e5. Ah, right. I mean, rook e5, then I take your other rook. I mean, that was the whole idea. Sorry, rook. Sorry, not the other rook, the bishop. So rook c7. If rook takes here, then I take the bishop. Okay, he played this check now. I didn't understand the point of b3. Like, why couldn't you play this check without b3? Not sure. I don't know. So yeah, he's just holding everything now. This bishop is gorgeous. Saving this a5 pawn, also protecting the d4 pawn. Black is trying some pawn pushes here. Black is also very low on time, 22 seconds versus 3 minutes. Um, how to finish is the question. Now maybe rook c7? Okay, just going for this pawn. Hello, Anshu. Hello, hello. Uh, yeah, I don't think you can defend this pawn now. So this is resigns, I think. Yeah, Wesley so resigns. Black just started to dominate. I think the critical position was this move, somewhere here. I would say move 23 when Wesley so played bishop b3, which was also my suggestion. Probably that's why it was not that great. And once this position happened, we had this move bishop b3 probably, which was missed by Wesley so. And now this gave the opportunity to activate all his white pieces so beautifully. And then it was just a clean-up job, I think. Wow, good, good conversion, I would say, by Magnus. Very nice. Let's see if the other game is also happening between Rajabao and... Oh, this already finished, it seems. And Nepomniachtchi won. So Tamur is going for this, yeah, this e6 and b6 system with black. I don't know. He started playing this recently. Okay, exchanges the bishop. Takes the knight. Okay, rook enters. Doubles. Trades the queen. I'm just curious to see how did he convert. Oh wow, and here Rajabao resigned. Oh, because there's no way to defend this pawn. Wow. At first glance, it looked like a mouse slip. This move, rook to b3. But the point is, you can't defend this pawn now. If you take, I just probably take with the a pawn and take this. You can't play c5 here because en passant. And that is game over right there. Also, Tamur was very low on time, it seems. 6 seconds versus 7 minutes. That's a huge time difference. Wow, so now we are waiting for the second game to start. I think there is like 5 minute gap between each game. Uh, let me have my coffee in the meanwhile. Also, everybody who is new here, please like the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm posting daily videos actually and streaming every week. So trash talk comes back to bite. Yeah, I mean, uh, let's see. It's too early to say. Maybe so we'll come back with the white pieces because this time Magnus was white, so yeah, probably. He must be feeling good. Let's see. Mm, okay, let me see if I can do my the audio capture from my. Oh, finally, Nightbot is here. Nightbot, I was missing. I thought you died or something. Not responding. Okay, let's see if this works. I am not sure, but settings, audio capture. The game should begin, I think, in 5 minutes probably, but I could be wrong about that. Yesterday they were beginning very quickly. Uh, okay, here, can I go back to this game just to see if. Oh, this is not great. Hmm. Hmm. Let's see. Uh, Meanwhile, when the game is not getting started, I think I can play a bullet game maybe. Let's try bullet or a blitz. I don't know. Maybe bullet. I don't think we have time for a blitz. Oh man, I haven't played bullet in a while. I should speed up. My mouse speed is so. Okay. Uh, I'm painfully slow here. That is sad. Let's see. I don't know what this guy is doing though. He's hanging pieces like anything. Oh, what? Take back? I'm not so generous, bro. Take back, I'm not giving. In bullet, especially. Okay, there we go. Uh, okay, rematch. He's requesting a rematch. Let's play one more. I should speed up slightly, I think. Okay. Um, let's play this, which is very dubious, but interesting. What is this? Let's take. Uh, okay. Here. Slightly low on time. Oh man. Oh, I misclicked some things. But never mind. I will go back to. I think I was winning. I just misclicked. My whole screen went blue and I couldn't click. Uh, let's go back to commentary. I think that was only better. Games. Oh, games haven't started yet. Oh. Uh, let's see. Let's see. Okay, meanwhile, maybe we can play one more bullet game in the gap. Oh, sorry, Arnav. Arnav wanted to join, but I couldn't make the audio capture work because uh, I didn't restart my system here. Okay, let's see. Let's play one more bullet game when we are waiting. Ah, this mouse is not that great. I'm moving very slowly. Yeah, bad. Too bad. Okay, let's just cancel. Okay, let's try to open this side up. Uh, and maybe. Okay. This looks good. If it works, though, that's the thing. I don't know if it works. Ah, okay. I didn't play that well. Oh, I got a challenge. Come on now. Wow. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Can someone let me know whenever the game starts? Also, this mouse is so bad. I should get a new mouse for sure, or a trackpad. Probably a trackpad is what I need because the mouse is fine. It's the man, this position I don't like. I hate this. Yeah, I hate this. Okay, this is not looking good. My king is getting hunted. And I can't do anything about it. This is bad. I have a 25 to 4. Oh, Joseph says Nepo versus Tamur has started. Okay, let's. Arnav is taking revenge because I couldn't make him join the call. Oh man. Let's see. Okay, this game is for the third place. And oh my, there is some lag it seems. Okay, never mind. Let's see how the game started. Hari Krishna Pentala is also. Dhwanit is here. Hello, hello, Dhwanit. We have this very standard, some sort of, I don't know, this King's Indian setup by Black here. He lost the first game with Black, so he wants with White especially. And now B3, yeah. Uh, Problems with the stream right now because I see that the but okay here, yeah, Rook B1. Oh, when started, I think. Rook to C8. Why would you come in this pin just to attack this twice, right? Because you could have taken with the queen. Nepo is not afraid of this pawn move because Mm. Hello, hello. We are back. Hello, guys. 1 second. Let me just bring the board real quick. Uh, yep, the board is also back. And we were watching this game. Sorry for this delay. I think there was some lagging happening. So I just refreshed the entire thing. And if now also it's happening, it's probably because of my bandwidth issue. Today I'm trying out this like uh 1080p streaming thing, which might not be ideal, but maybe it will hold up. I don't know. Okay, let's get back to chess in this game. So we have I think we saw till bishop d6, yeah, and the d5 break. Oh, I was just commentating how c4 might not be ideal here because it can be overextending the pawn, but Magnus goes for it anyway. Interesting. So here, so after knight to g6, what does Wesley So do? I mean, Wesley So wants to win with white pieces because he lost with the black pieces here. Although his pieces are slightly out of the picture here because his knight, where does the knight come from? Bishop doesn't have a good square right now. Uh, so white needs to think of some active plan. The knight is definitely coming to f4. If you take, he'll take with the pawn and probably can also begin a pawn storm on the king side. Black has all the space in this position. So, okay, he opens up the center because the king is still not castled. And you'll have to take with the bishop, I'm assuming. Or you just move back your bishop. Two options. If you take with the knight, you lose your bishop. So you have to take with the bishop. Then knight takes and then knight takes is one option. Yeah, so he didn't want to give his bishop for the knight, so just moving the bishop back. But now can you go for e6 here? I think you can, right? Ah, he didn't go for e6. Oh, instead he goes for, oh, maybe. Ah, so if you take now, I'll be happy to have this pawn majority in the center. And so instead, Magnus took this pawn, which I think, yeah, so f4 was played here in this position. Knight goes back, knight takes, pawn takes, and queen comes to h5. Interesting. White has some attack actually. The black king is not castled yet. You see. And What does black do here? There are some nasty threats now, like you can just push these pawns ahead and it will be very dangerous for black. So do you want to castle here? But castle also looks dangerous because there is this rook lift happening, or at least there is a possibility of this rook lift happening, right? So as black here, what's your plan? How do you continue this? You would love to get a queen trade at some point as black. Uh, yeah, probably. But there's no good way of getting that. Maybe you can start with short castle seems dangerous for black. Yeah, it just seems dangerous. I don't know. Quite dangerous actually. Like one continuation after short castles could be no f5 maybe not that great because then you get this square for the knight then on e5 knight e5. But what are some other possibilities? I'm slightly distracted continuously by my lagging a lot, or is it lagging? It feels like it's lagging because of some bandwidth issue that is occupying my mind. Uh, see, okay, here the moves happened. Queen back issue, then I don't know what will. No, we are not interested in the Raja Pao and Tamur game. We are interested in Magnus Carlsen versus Wesley. And after this maneuver of Queen b6 check and Queen c4 c5 trying to go for this exchange, Wesley so declines that and oh thanks Pawn Star. I can't see the stream though for some reason on my end. Is it showing on the streamers page or is it only showing like in the broadcast section? Okay, queen back to d6 here. And we have queen back to h5. Oh, so he inserted this bishop move so that this queen can no longer occupy this diagonal, and now he goes back again with the queen. Probably looking to develop more pieces. Yeah, knight to d2 looks logical. Also, rook lift is a possibility then. So, a lot of moves here, uh, which might be interesting. Let's see. White has to win this, right? Wesley so has to win with white at least once in order to level the score. Uh, and Magnus is thinking for a change. Magnus is down to 4 minutes with, and that is less than half of what Wesley so has on his side. He has 8 minutes and 42 seconds. So here as black, he played c5. Interesting move. Although c5, I mean, I get that he wants to put his bishop on b7, like occupying this nasty diagonal. So moves like e5 might become dangerous for white. White would love to open this bishop, but oh, hello, Ramamurthy. White would love to open this bishop. Yeah, knight d2 was predicted. Bishop b7 was also predicted. And now maybe rook, you start with rook d1 here first. Possible. Rook d1 is a possibility. Pushing this runs into, I mean, you can always line up this battery for a mate threat. Mm, White has a beautiful position somehow. All the pieces look good. You can also begin with rook f3 maybe, but then that can run into f4, f5, sorry, probably because of this pin. So rook f3 might not be best. Oh, he starts with this, opening this diagonal, but that also opens the diagonal for black. So it's a double-edged move here, I feel. Very interesting. How do you respond to something like queen d5 and queen c6? Oh, Ramamurthy, I think today I can't connect the Discord for some reason. Even Arnav was there earlier and I couldn't take him. His voice was not audible on the stream. Uh, like I can connect, but your voice won't be audible on the stream because I didn't set up the sound capture thing. I woke up so late. I was not in the plan of covering this today, but I realized it's an holiday today. So I was like, okay, never mind. I'll just do it. Uh, anyway, let's see. So after, oh, I guess any move like this would have run into bishop e4. So that's why Magnus didn't bring the queen to, either d4, d5 or c6 because he doesn't want to give up this diagonal probably. Uh, like let's say you played queen c6 and then bishop e4 would have happened and then you have to move the queen and then you lose this bishop and gone. Your position is now your only good piece is exchanged. So black doesn't want to do it. That's why black plays queen to c7 and now knight comes to f3. Oh, now the threats are in the air, right? Knight here, you'll have to give up your bishop probably for this. And then you are looking at moves like f5. So he's playing h6 to stop knight g5. Although this can be very risky. Uh, wow, this can be very risky. One thing is for sure you can win a pawn, like takes and win a pawn. But I don't think white wants to because then there is one less attacker and black would be happy to get rid of white's attacker at the cost of a pawn. So that's why h6 is played even though it loses a pawn by force. Let's see, can you play something slow like rook d1 here? Although it doesn't do anything. So maybe not. Maybe not rook d1. Uh, let's see what other moves, if not rook d1, are there. Um, I'm just thinking, what about maybe with the idea of pushing this now. Like you can move the bishop back and then probably f5. That's a possibility. Because before this move, like here, when the rook was on a1, you can't play f5. This pawn is hanging. But now after rook e1 and let's say bishop c1 in the future, you can probably... Oh, now this threat. And now you e4 to exchange this bishop. Because your knight is no longer on, d2 to support this. Oh, Rakshit, hello, hello. Or, so maybe you have to waste some time playing moves like rook f2 maybe to defend this threat. Uh, I have this feeling that maybe definitely doing all right here. Probably objectively slightly better as well. Uh, let's see. Oh wow, white comes up with e6. Is e6 even a move here? Okay, let's see if this is any better or not. Probably not. I hope this is better. It might be better for at least a few moments and then it will start lagging again, as far as I can tell. That is what is happening. But I was just too engrossed in this combination here. That was a pretty combination. Sacking the queen and then getting it back. And now even can he play just something like, yeah, uh, right now he couldn't play g3 because of this pin, but now that he unpinned, maybe he can just play g3. Isn't the knight trapped? No, knight is not trapped. I thought knight is trapped, but it's not trapped. After g3, maybe knight here. So can you go... Oh, I was thinking king f2 in order to trap the knight, but that also doesn't trap it because then knight has the f3 square. So instead Wesley went for this f5 move. Yeah, Rakshit, we can play a game in the break actually. Okay, let's see. So here we have f5, b4, bishop d2. You don't want to push because then you lose a pawn. You don't want to take because then you exchange the pieces. And now he tucks his bishop to e1. Probably he can also play this. Oh, what? I was just saying you can't push. Have I missed something? Ah, This move, then you have to push. Very interesting. So at the cost of one pawn, Magnus is occupying this diagonal, and right now it's a skewer, so you had to play c4 here. I'm not sure though, it's still not so clear. Maybe just bishop a1, sorry, bishop a2, but then rook here might actually threaten this, but not immediately, because if you take immediately, I just take and bishop takes and this knight is hanging. So now he is going for the knight, and I think this is over, right? Knight has no good square. If you take on g2, I take with the rook, you take with the bishop, I take with the king, and I am happy, I will be up a piece. So instead, what you can try is probably rook to b8. Let's see. So if something like rook to b8 is played, rook to d4 is played. Oh, which is a nice move. If you take, I just solidify my structure here. Not so easy for Wesley here. Okay, now this pawn is... Yeah, that pawn was hanging, even this pawn was hanging. And you don't want to take here because knight comes to d4 and attacking rook and bishop. Oh, what? Magnus resigned? Wow, Magnus resigned in this position. I mean, uh, he's down an exchange. I was just watching the game and suddenly it shows Wesley so 1, Magnus 0. Because this knight is attacked here, and if you take, I just take back with check. Sorry, I just pin the knight, and then yeah, it's looking dull. And if you try to block with this, I just go here, you take, I sidestep with check and then save my bishop, and also this pawn is hanging lot of threats. So that's the reason why Magnus resigned. So this move bishop c2 was a silent killer, I guess. Just powerful. You can't take because rook takes, pinning the knight. If you sidestep with, or if you try to save the knight by playing something like this, I just push and you lose a piece. So after bishop to c2, there is actually no way to... I mean, you can try something like this, but then I go rook e6, rook e6, and it's attacking two pieces, and I don't think there is a way to save both of them. Very precise move here by Wesley. So, and both the white games have produced a result this in this final. So, all back to square one here. After two games, Wesley won, Magnus won. Very nice. And let's see if Tamur Rajapal and Ian Nepomniachtchi, what is happening there. Oh, Tamur is down to... Wow, he was at 2 seconds, man, when he played this move. Uh, Let me just see what is happening. White looks better. Up an exchange, outside pass pawn, like although this pawn is falling, maybe not really. Can you not take it as black? Because then this pawn is also defended. He sacks a queen. Crazy. Sacks the queen, and the idea is to push d2. Yeah. But then I come back. Oh, I take first and then push d2. Oh, but wait. Take, take. Can I just sack it here and then I push? Oh, but then you get this move just in time. Wow, doesn't work. This doesn't work. So close to working. It would have been like a double queen sack if this was working. But that doesn't work. Tamur down on time. Wait, why is his pieces not moving? Lot of things happened. Took the rook. Ah, he pushes this pawn instead. So it's a pawn race. And now queen back, I guess. Okay, queen back here with a threat of this check, which is good. Tamur is dangerously low on time. That's one big problem. So g4 has been played. Takes, takes, takes. You can't push this pawn because I simply take. Maybe I push this followed by this. Oh, now this pawn is blocking this bishop diagonal also for the time being. King up, then this king up, I guess. I mean, maybe here. You have to be careful though. There you might be losing a pawn in some line. Ah, the king is coming to save the... Okay, this is game over. Nepomniachtchi is down a queen because he sacked his queen. And now... How do you... He was just banking on this passed d pawn, but... I think that's not... Yeah, he can just put his... Oh, now he's planning to push this pawn as well. And attacking this pawn. Can you take? Yeah, he took simply. Ah, now you push. Very nice. Now you just take this. Just... Oh, what is this move? Attacking the knight. Even better. You have to go back, I think, to block. Yes, that was the only move. And then I have lot of possibilities. One is just give the check, pick this up with the queen, and then give some other check, pick this pawn. Instead, he's attacking the bishop, logical. He just wants to dislodge this. This check, okay. Where's the kill shot? I hope Taimur doesn't blunder in time pressure because actually both of them are very low on time, so it's not. He should not allow this pawn to advance because you can't stop both. Oh, he found a sequence of checks to pick up the f7 pawn with check, and now he's thinking. These pieces are coordinating beautifully though. Oh, king is coming here. Can you now go with the king somehow? Maybe queen here first, but then king back. Ah, this way. So king has to come here. And now maybe this check. King will come here. Okay, he gives this check. Finally, my stream name is also showing on this left panel. Interesting. On leeches. So if anybody is here from leeches, welcome, welcome everybody. We are just watching the final games, trying to understand what these grandmasters play. Okay, gee. How to make progress with white? It seems so close yet so far. Ah, he's trying to enter this way. So you have to play king here. Yeah, king chief or at least here. One of these two. Oh, what is this? Now can I play just here? Wait, doesn't this... Yeah, queen h5? This is... What was his idea? To push... I get it, but now just here, here... Ah, now the king can come like this. Very nice. He's covering this queening square on d1 here. So the white king is free to move. Probably f3 next. Oh, he gives up this pawn. What? Just take it. Yeah, he takes it the king. Now just walk over the king. He's trying to create a fortress somehow, I think. Is this a fortress? He can never push. He doesn't have a light square bishop, and this is covering. But he can just run his king up and let's try to think. Yeah, he's running on this path, probably. Okay, okay. You have to be aware of this pawn, so your queen can't leave this diagonal. And at some point, you can sack something somewhere. Ah, not right now. This bishop is like a glue, holding both of these pieces together. Uh, it's such an annoying Annoying endgame for white. Like you feel like you have it in the bag, but you don't know how to proceed. And I hope it's not 50, yeah, it's not 50 moves yet because uh, G3 happened fairly recently. So it's not yet over. White has to come with a plan. Can he go for this move now? Oh, black simply plays bishop back, I guess. Black also has to be careful. One wrong move and you can lose it. Queen is very powerful. Welcome everyone who is new here. If you are not subscribed, then do consider subscribing. You will get everyday videos and weekly streams. Uh, Also, if you have not liked the video, then please go ahead and like the video so that more people can join in. Uh, Now the king is coming back. For what? I'm not sure. Maybe he's planning to put the king here and then. Yeah, that's a possibility. Not sure how good is that possibility though. Subs. Okay. Lot of shuffling moves. Uh, So this game, Tamur has to win with white because he lost with black pieces in the first game. Um, oh, now the knight moved after an eternity. Can the king enter? Yeah, king entered here. This might be a mistake. This is over, right? Yeah, this is over. Finally. Because you can't save both pieces now. This and this. One mistake and GG. Wow. Very interesting. Raja Bao managed to find the win. I was curious though what the engine was suggesting. Probably it would have found some mate or something. The next game has already started between Magnus Carlsen and Wesley. So Magnus begins with d4 with white, and he would definitely want to get a win here for sure because we see that Wesley can beat Magnus with white pieces. So definitely white players have some sort of, you know, extra pressure to push harder. Let's see what Wesley so responds with. His time has still not started. Oh, he starts with f6, knight f6, and c4 here, I guess. Yeah, c4, e6, knight f3, knight c6, d5, and then c5. This line is the same as the first game. Same thing happened. Oh, I feel like uh, I have seen this game. They have played this line so many times. Let's just rewind a little bit. So this queen's gambit kind of structure then takes on d5 and then takes on d4. Queen takes, pawn takes, and then immediately e4. Pawn takes, exchange the queens, and then knight jumps to g5, threatening this fork. And the way you stop it is you play bishop e6 here, is what I have seen. You voluntarily give up your bishop at the cost of this extra pawn. From what I remember is bishop e6 is the move here, and then usually white takes, you take, then you play, I don't know, king up, bishop here, you bring the knight to c6 and the game continues. Bring both the rooks. Black has decent comp. This is a good equalizing line for black. Black would love a draw, I guess, here. Uh, Wesley So is black in this game. Let's see. So my prediction for happened e6, bishop e6 and takes, immediately bishop g5 and now king to e8. Unpinning now, do you take? You don't take because that helps black only to bolster this kind of pawn structure. So he just left it there. Now a natural developing move. Is this pawn hanging? Not really. If you take this, I will put my knight here with check and then fork you. So you don't want to go for free pawns like that. What? I just said you don't want to go for free pawns. What is happening? What is happening? Magnus Carlsen taking on e6. What's the idea here? Can I just not take maybe this rook? Am I missing something here? Why would you allow this fork? Why would you allow this fork? Let's count the material. Oh, it is theory. Wow. Even with the fork. Okay, I have no idea, bro. I thought theory was up till like this bishop move. But so here what does like why is Wesley thinking? Is he thinking for like getting an advantage or something? I mean, it seems like black has an edge. You can still take, and the rook is not going anywhere. So you rook moves, you take this other rook, and then you just play king up, attacking this. Uh, okay, Wesley so taking his sweet time. Mm, what is he thinking? Is he thinking of some other move which I miss? Like one candidate move is take the rook, either this rook or this rook. So only three moves possible, right? Take the bishop, which I think is should be the move because these rooks are forked anyway, so you can take either of the rook on the next move. Uh, so why not just take the bishop? Or is there this check which is bothering him? That doesn't do anything. I just moved the king. Uh, let's see. Let's see why. Taking bishop is risky. Oh, but what is the reason, Daksh? Why is even people in the Leeches chat are saying that G takes on f6 is theoretically losing for white. Okay, G takes, let's say, rook d7. Okay, knight takes h1 and knight d5. Ah, with a mate threat or something. Very interesting. So that's why Wesley is taking his time here. So probably the way to continue is just take on d1. Yeah, okay, he took on d1. So takes on d1, rook takes, and rook d7 played with the threat of knight d5. So much theory, so much theory. So what does mm, let's see. How do you defend against this idea? Because knight e5 followed by knight c7 is checkmate. Uh, and if you play something like this, you lose an exchange. And there's no way to prevent knight d5. What's the material count? Material is actually just an exchange down for white, but for a lot of compensation. Pieces are very active. Rook is on the 7th rank. Uh, okay, he gives up the pawn on b7. Rook d8. Yeah, rook d8 was continuation. Knight d5 is winning for black. Right, rook d8, knight d5 is winning for black. But after rook d8, he instead takes up the b7 pawn, brings the bishop back. Now there is this threat, maybe. Oh god, lots of threats in the position. Rook d8 would be a tragic blunder. Check, have to block, takes, have to come up, discovered check, goes back, takes, and you lose the house. This is not a must win, right? Wesley won the previous game, so Wesley would be happy with a draw. Magnus, I think, wants a win because uh, Magnus is with white. Let's see. Wesley taking his time. I'm just thinking, what is his plan on this check? He'll just play king here, and then this check doesn't do much. You just come here. So if he can get, yeah, he's preparing this move in the future, probably, or even moves like this, bishop at 6 to threaten some sort of, check here, which could be dangerous. But that was possible even with, mm, yeah, not that strong, but yeah, getting there. Let's see. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. One second. As white, what do I want to do? I have some checks. Let's say here, this is forced. But then, can I play this move after this check? Because then I threaten. Hmm. So, one of the assets for white here is that he can take this pawn, and then these are like an outside passer for white. Um, Although black also has a passer, but e2 can never be crossed because right now the bishop is doing a good job. So moves like bishop h6 makes a lot of sense. Going here, here, also enabling this pawn push. Like here, king goes up, let's say, then you can push the pawn to glory. That is one idea. But let's say if we were Magnus here as white and we know we have to win it, what would we play here? So we saw this check doesn't really achieve all that much because you do just slide away. You also have this check on f7. Um, but then after king d8, rook b8, nothing is happening. King c7, not good. Or do you just start with... Oh, he just... Wow, as soon as I was making the arrow, he played the move. Okay, you just start with rook a7, I guess. Uh, Rook a7. How does black develop his pieces? Like right now, bishop h6 would be a blunder because here, if you block, I have bishop check, you have to take. So that's why he moved away. Is he planning to just bring the king over? to this side to unwind from this situation. So in the previous position, if let's say black was not careful and played something like bishop h6, that might be losing. Ah, this would have been a cleaner way. This check, here, here, you have to come here and then you lose the rook. So that would have been a disaster. So that's why I think king d8 was played to get rid of this check. You can still not play this move because this would just simply pick up the rook. But I think the idea is to just slide the king over to b8 or a8 and attack the rook and then develop the bishop maybe somewhere. If black manages to coordinate all his pieces, I think black can hold this for sure. I'm not sure what is the engine evaluation for this position. Probably slightly favorable for white, even though white is down an exchange for the cost of a pawn, but I still think white might have an edge slightly because his rook is very active. Two outside passed pawns. Uh, yeah, and white's one rook like hasn't even joined the game, even bishop. So white is technically down a rook. Oh, did he play the check? Okay, he played the check. I guess now was the plan to come this way? I guess so. Oh, but then folks, no, sorry, you can't come there. Ah, so you have to either come here or here. But if you come to d7, then I have this bishop check, which is annoying. Uh, you would have to move. Can you move up? I don't think so. So maybe you have to go to. If you go to king e7, the problem is knight jumps to the center with tempo, and so you have to try this move. King d7. No, king e7, okay. Then I was thinking knight jumps here. Or maybe knight jumps to b5 even. What about knight b5? No, knight b5, I have this move. This move, rook check. I just come here. So maybe not knight b5. Let's see. Uh, what do you play as white? What is the kill shot? I think knight d5 check. What, does it achieve something? It forces the king to move again, and you don't want to come in some discover kind of check situation. So you will have to move after knight d5. Let's say Where do you go? Let's say king d7, followed by bishop b4, b5, bishop b5. Oh, maybe then you come king e6. Possible. Attacking this, then bishop comes back, and then you just repeat the position. Some sort of triangulation here. I don't know. So he doesn't go for that. Instead, he attacks this. But this gives a move to black finally. Oh, but this move would be a blunder because check and knight check. Yeah, this move looks like a blunder. Let's see, 1 second. Black has to be very, very careful here. Also, this check is in the air. This is not just threatening this. This is also threatening rook e5 check. Rook e5 check is also very, very tricky because then you'll have to go to either d8 or d7, and then if let's say you play something like bishop h6, I give rook e5 check, king d7, bishop b5. Where do you go? Maybe you can go up. Yeah, you can, I guess. King c8 is there. Very tricky, very tricky. Uh, Wesley so is thinking he's down to 5 minutes as compared to Magnus Carlsen's almost 10 minutes, so a lot of time advantage. Oh, he played bishop h6. So this is what we were calculating. Bishop h6. We were looking at rook e5. Rook e5, king d7, bishop b5, king c8. Probably rook c5, then repeats. Not concrete, not concrete. Do you just take the free pawn? Takes, check, king runs up, check. Dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. So you have to be careful. You don't want to take the free pawn because then this rook check is very, very strong. If you go back, then just rook here, lot of pressure on this. So you have to go for some active plan here. Maybe rook e4, rook e5, sorry, rook e5 seems like the most natural continuation. Also, there is knight knight d5, which we didn't really calculate. Let's see. Okay, knight d5. You don't want to go to e3, e6 or f7. This is already blocked. Now the question is, do you want to go to dark square or light square? I don't think you want to go to e8, and you don't want to go to d8 for sure because then you lose a rook. So the only place, and e8 you don't want to go because Then knight jumps and you'll have to move, then knight can come here. So probably d7, only surviving move, I feel. D7 will be immediately followed by, and then we will see king e6. So let's see if this continuation happens on the board. This would be amazing if this happens. And then probably we will have, okay, I don't know after that what will happen. Wesley so taking his time, down by 5 minutes on the clock. Let's see what's okay. So is there a good discovery for white here? Not sure. Let's see. What are all the possible knight moves here? So one is knight f4. Maybe I just go back. You have nothing. Uh, what about knight e3? Knight e3. Again, you have nothing. What about knight c7? Knight c7. Again, I go back. King e7. Okay, knight e3 is what Magnus played. Maybe this is the only move which attacks something with the discovery. So he's planning to take this pawn, which will be like a fork on the bishop and rook. Oh, but you can't really, can you? I was thinking if he can play this. Okay, he plays this, but now can he play this? Yeah, he plays this, rook d2. Now he has to save the bishop, otherwise takes, rook is gone. So will he play rook? Finally, the H rook might come in. Oh wait, what? He's giving up the bishop. This H rook hasn't moved in the entire game. So it's like Wesley so is playing with a rook less. Oh. Is this check a possibility? No. Might be. Because then it defends this pawn. Let's try to calculate. Knight h4 check. What do you play? Very difficult to calculate all the lines, man. I don't know how these grandmasters do it. I feel so exhausted after like just calculating a few moves. Um, and my calculation is nowhere like any good. It's just looking one move ahead or two moves ahead. That's it. And they must be calculating like 3 to 4 moves ahead, and you know. Okay, white is calculating something. Let's try to see what it is. Knight h4 is what I would be considering. Knight h4. Uh, King can't come down because the rook is controlling this file, so king has to go up. Maybe king just goes to g7. Then we have rook check. Uh, Seems like there has to be in something forcing, right? Yeah, it has to be. Knight h4 looks very tempting because this bishop is controlling this diagonal. The king is kind of boxed in. The only possible moves will be after knight h4, only two legal moves. King g7 and king f6. Uh, let's see. So knight h4, let's say king goes to f6. Then I have this check. Then king has to go back, otherwise the bishop was hanging. Oh, that's why this rook came here to f2 now. Makes sense. Rook came to f2, anticipating this situation. Because now if the king leaves the defense of this f5 square, the knight can't jump back. So what I'm calculating is knight h4, king f6, rook a6, king g7. Okay, that didn't happen. Wow. Knight e7 check. Again, we saw only two legal moves. Knight e7. So let's see. Let's see king e6, king f6 first. King f6, rook here. King has to go back because the bishop hangs. So king f6, rook a6, king g7. Okay, king f6 happened. Rook a6 now. So he didn't go for this rook a6 check. Instead, he went for knight d5 check. Can you face the discovered check again by somehow claiming that you don't have anywhere to lose? Like, no, he goes back. Rook check now. Oh, if he comes here, then knight check. Okay. Wesley so is happy to repeat, so he is repeating. So after king j7, rook a7 happened, then king g6, rook a6, and now Magnus is thinking. Magnus is down to 3 minutes something, and Wesley so has 1 minute something. Close on the clocks. Let's see. What does white play here? I'm thinking of some situation where I can sack my rook here, king takes, and if my knight were, let's say, on e5, I could have forked. So to make that possible, I would like to do some sort of knight maneuver. Maybe this check, but to reach this square, I need a lot of moves. That's the problem. And I don't think white has that much time. And white has to be careful. Like white can't simply start bringing the king because these pawns are weak. And you don't want to lose your B pawn, especially because it's a passed pawn. Um, so he has repeated the position twice. Will this be a draw here? Good result for Wesley so pieces, and if rook a6, then I think it's a draw and it's over. This position has been reached twice. Yeah, this OBS thing is really so frustrating when it lags. Like half the time I'm just looking at the OBS whether it's lagging or not lagging. But yeah, this game was a draw. Let's see if Tamur and Rajabao they are making some progress or not. Their previous game was I think the first two games were decisive. First game Ian Nepomniachtchi won, and the second game Tamur won, and this is the third game. Let's see how it started. What is this opening? Nepomniachtchi is playing this double fianchetto setup. Uh, Rajabao is going for some what? A very weird system these guys are playing. Castles. Nepomniachtchi is going all in here. He's no slouch. He's just pushing the pawns in front of Rajabao's king. Uh, takes with the pawn, and he gives up this pawn. Wow. And plunges his knight on this. Oh, what is happening? Such an imbalanced position here. Maybe this bishop will come to c1 in the future. Yeah, c1. Bishop comes to g4. Ian Nepomniachtchi has to win. What's the material count right now? Pieces are same. 6 pawns versus 5 pawns. So Taimur Rajabao is down a pawn, but not a big deal, I guess. He has some good chances to hold this. Takes and the rook enters the 7th rank. Interesting. Exchanges one more rook. And again trying to enter the position. There's no good way to stop the rook from coming to c2. So what do you play as white here? White has this outside passed pawn. Uh, but Black's king is actually placed correctly. So now he's saying if you come here, I'll come there with check, pick up this pawn. So what do you do? Maybe you just play something like this. But then this check. Interesting. You play this. This check again. You bring your king to e6. That's a possibility. Let's see if that happens in the game. Tamur is down by 8 minutes. Wow. 2 minutes versus 10 minutes is the scenario. So Tamur is down a lot. Uh, He's thinking for his move. What is some other move which... Yeah, I think has to play king somewhere to stop this move. Maybe, yeah, king g6, rook g6, king f7, rook g3, king e6, and then you start pushing. Dangerous. So that's why he's thinking. What about king g6, rook g3, king h5, king h3 threatening this? Yeah, that's risky. That's very risky. So you don't want to do that. Um, Finally, he played rook c2, bishop g5, very natural. Oh, he defends the a pawn like this. But can he go check here, check, pick up this? So check has to go back. Has to go back. Um, and then rook d7. Logical. You can't go back because you lose. So you have to come forward. Maybe bishop b4. Yes. Uh, and now just simply attack this pawn. Something like rook d5. Wasn't rook d5 winning a pawn by force? Oh, nice find. This rook e8, e1 idea. Oh, rook d5 is actually available anytime. So he's saying I am not worried about like winning the pawn right away. I can win it anytime. And also rook d5 might not be best because king can come up there. So he wants to keep the rook on the 7th rank so that this king is cut off and then you can push your pawn and win. Now just h6. Yes, h6 has been played. Looks dangerous. Yes, Taimur resigned. Wow. Yan Nepomniachtchi winning with white. Very interesting. So all three games decisive in Taimur and Nepomniachtchi's matchup. Wesley So and Magnus Carlsen, on the other hand, drew their third game. So it's still all even. And if Wesley So wants to win this tournament without going to the Blitz, then he has to push for a win. But if he loses, then Magnus wins. And if it's a draw, then we go to Blitz. I think there are two Blitz matches. 5+3 time control, if I'm not mistaken. And then there will be an Armageddon if there is a tie in the Blitz section as well. And right now, yeah, Magnus might force a draw, but Wesley will have white. So Wesley might try for a win, most likely. Let's see. Let's see what happens in that game. I don't think the game has started yet. No, the final game has not started. Wesley gets to choose the pieces. I think I don't know who is the higher seed in Blitz. The one who is higher in blitz gets to choose. So, okay, this game has not started yet. Oh, it's by the ranking. Okay, okay, maybe then, if that's the case. I thought it was about the blitz rating in general, like overall, but not sure. Okay, meanwhile, maybe we can solve some puzzles. Puzzle storm or streak? Puzzle streak, maybe. Let's do some puzzles. Uh, let's go. Okay, what is this? What is happening here? Uh, okay, it's then it must be their positions. Yeah, I was not sure. Can I just take this? Let's see. I think I can do this. Here, check here. Which check to give is the question. This check here. Uh, check here. Do I have a kill shot? I don't see it. Okay, we lost the streak. Never mind. We reached. We were doing well. Let's see if the games have started. I think they have started. Oh, bishop b4 I missed. Okay, they have not started yet. So let's solve the one more puzzle streak. Let's go. Here, pick up the rook. This one is what? Black to move, right? Okay, mate. Take, win the rook. This one is what? With fork, I guess. Win the bishop. Win the queen. Fork. This is mate. Okay. What is this? Here. Win the queen. This is takes here and push, I guess. This one, this check looks strong. I guess I throw in this check here. Can I take or do this? Let's see, this check. Oh, it's white to move. Uh, here. Oh, what's the move? What's the move here? Takes. Not sure. Uh, what is this puzzle? Takes and push. Takes and push. I think that is it. Okay, nice. Um, this one here. What is this? P-sec? This one I can take. Okay, win the queen. This is just a free piece. I can take this. Mate, find the best move for white. This is mate in one, I think. I mean mate in two, maybe. What is this? Is this a move? Yeah. Okay, this one, check. Just pick up this. Maybe just takes. Yeah. And now bishop. Maybe I throw in this move first. Oh, pin and win. I didn't see it. Okay, never mind. Let's go back and we see the games again. Magnus Carlsen. Oh, they made a draw already. Oh, this line. I hate this. I hate this. Both agreed to a draw. So Wesley didn't want to push with the white pieces, and now we will go to blitz overtime. I hope, yeah, Tamur can't do that because he has to win, otherwise he loses the third spot. Uh, yeah. Okay, I'll put their game on the board in case it starts, and I will. Hello, hello. Okay, I think we got a challenge from Ramamurthy. Let's play some game. I was gone for 2 minutes. So Magnus and Wesley will start playing some Blitz, I think, in some time. Meanwhile, I'm playing a game. Let's see. This is Blitz, 3 minutes without increment, so we have some time. Uh, there are some tactics possible here, maybe. Oh, he goes back. Interesting. Now maybe I can do this. Maybe here. My bishop is very passive. Need to do something with the bishop. Uh, yeah, maybe come back. Okay, can't come back here. So maybe let's try this now. Knight here, I thought I can just go here. Oh, my battery is low. Okay. I need to do something about the battery. Rajabao's game, I think it's started or it was 1 second. I didn't check actually. I didn't think it started. Sorry, I didn't think it's. Oh, 1 second. Maybe here. Let me check what happened in Rajabao's game. Let's come back with this. Okay, I don't have time, I think. Let's come here. Oh, something died. Mm. Okay, good game. Let me quickly check Raja Baos versus. 1 second. Oh, their game is happening actually. So in those three games, Navneet, like Ian Nepomniachtchi won 2 games and Rajabao won one. This is the last game which is happening. Yeah, this is the last one. And Tamur has to win in order to get the third place. If he loses or draws, then Nepomniachtchi wins. I think Nepomniachtchi might hold because it's very tricky to win on demand, although Rajabao has done that in the past. Mm, so we might see a result here. Let's try to see how we reach this position though. We had some sort of English opening kind of position. Wow, all the pieces have been traded. So Rajabao is saying that I can win in the end game. He has the bishop pair, so does Yan. Um, and maybe he wants to put the bishop on a6 here. Although white can castle short right now and put the rook in the center, or white can go for immediate break, but that allows bishop e5. Yeah, solid position for both actually. So does he go for this break? I mean this pawn push, not a break. Uh, but then there is this check, you block, take here, put your king here, and then but then he will just trade off this piece. Oh, he's offering a bishop exchange. Maybe takes, and then yeah, took. Short castle? No, there's no point of castling now because you want to keep the king in the center. So maybe just king d2 and bring the rook. King d2 looks like a decent plan. Black is countering this bishop, so this push is not possible for the time being. Also, this might be a threat now. You'll have to play f3. e4. Yeah, e5 you mean, I guess. That is true. Locks the position. Oh, d5. I was not even considering d5 here. d5, yeah, I guess then you will play e5. But he goes with this plan. Yeah, king d2 and just rook c1 maybe next. But what will be your response to f5 here? f5, I guess you also have this. No, then take, check, and you lose this. So Nepomniachtchi also responds with king e7, trying to bring the other rook. Um, oh, what is this? Fire alarm. Ignore the sound in the background. F3 maybe? F3? Yeah, F3, I think. Like the response to F5, yeah. Okay, I guess. He was planning for some sort of A5 here, but now he has to deal with this. I guess he can go King E3, sidestepping the pin and also defending the pawn and reinforcing the E4 pawn. Uh, yeah, King E3 looks natural to me, but there might be some other move which Tamur is considering. He is down by 6 minutes already. Nepomniachtchi has more time than he started with. He has 16 minutes on the clock. Tamur has 10 minutes. Very interesting. Uh, let's see, nobody is moving. Okay, King E3 has been played. Logical. And he was trying to prevent A5 by playing this move Bishop C6, I guess. And now he is reinforcing this move A5 by playing Bishop F1. The idea is after A5, you don't want to take because you open up this rook. And if you push, so now maybe just here, exchange, and then A5. Take, I take back. So this could be a line. Let's see. Let's see what will happen. Wesley So and Magnus Carlsen Blitz game has also started actually. So we can switch to that game as well. He's defending the bishop here. This is interesting. Let's see what has happened in this Blitz game. We have B4 by Magnus Carlsen. Wow. This B4 line he has played now twice, I think, or thrice. Thrice in this tournament. And Wesley So must have seen that before. You take with the pawn if exchange happens on b5. Oh, in the previous game, I see. Hey, Rushi, sure, man. A lot of people can defeat me in chess. uh, okay, here a3. Let's see. We can actually go back to the previous game itself, which was interesting. So, okay, bishop a6, a6 was played, and then bishop back, and finally we have this a5 break for which We were competing the entire game. Now bishop comes back. He's still trying to push maybe. You don't want to open up. Okay, and he's still hoping to. Okay, now you can't push because I just take. Thanks. Uh, oh, does this run into bishop b5? This move looks wrong visually. Bishop b5 here takes in the end. Or maybe, wait, bishop b5, you have to move the rook. The rook moves back, take the bishop. Let's say you take with the king, you take the pawn. Okay, none of those things happened. Instead, we have e5. Wow. What's the idea? I guess he's not scared of this pawn being gone. Okay, e5 was attacking this h7 pawn, I guess, so he just played h6, defending it. Oh no, I moved, my mistake, sorry. So after h6, let's see. Why not bishop b5? I'm not able to understand. Is that not good for... Oh, you had rook takes b7. Okay, something similar is happening, although slightly different. Bishop e4 was played and now takes. Uh, King comes back. Maybe you play something like h4 and then on this check you run to e3 and then upon this check you block with the bishop and then maybe put your... Okay, let's go back to that line where I was suggesting bishop b5, rook c7, bishop takes d7, king d7, a takes b6, rook takes b7, or rook b7. Oh, this rook b7. Ah, okay. But then, don't you lose? Here takes, king takes, rook b7. Oh no, I can't take because you take with check. Okay. Here you take with check, king moves, you have rook here, avoiding the push. So that doesn't work. Let's see what happened in the game. We had this line. Now we were threatening to play this move. Tamor is pushing. It looks winning for white here. White is pressing. Check. Yep. Rook takes b3 comes with check. That is true. Uh, yeah, here I was thinking now you don't want to block with the bishop because then this pawn hangs. So maybe you can go here. No, but then this check is dangerous. So you don't want to go up. You have to come down. Ah, now check. I go to f3. And then if you check again, I hide on g2. And that will be, I think, game over. Because then I am threatening to push this d6 with the threat of mate. Not really mate, but winning material at least. Um, even, yeah, some sort of mate might be there. So let's go and look at Magnus Carlsen versus Wesley So's Blitz game. 5+3. We had this opening where Magnus played b4 on the first move. We have some expansion on the queen side, both side castle short, takes on b6. Okay, gives up that bishop and shunts down this black bishop. That was an interesting decision. Knight comes and defends the pawn. Now Wesley is going for that pawn, I think. And here Magnus is thinking. Magnus is low on time actually. 40 seconds to 2 minutes. And Magnus is white. He has to win with white, at least in the blitz, maybe. Otherwise, next game he'll have to win with black. Magnus comes up with... Okay, so he's saying if you take this pawn, I will take, and take here in the end. So Wesley eliminates the knight first, the defender of the attack, one of the attacker of this pawn. Oh, this is very intense. Can he go f4? No, he doesn't want to. There's no need also actually. Because this pawn is not hanging. What are these arrows? This pawn is not hanging as such. Is looking to double up. Oh, takes. Now you win this pawn. No, sorry. Now, so he sacrificed a pawn. Wow. Oh, for this move. Wow. That wasn't a sacrifice. That was such a nice move by Wesley. Wesley is black here and he won the queen by force, making use of the back rank weakness. So you see he sacrificed this pawn apparently. The c5 push was very strong. He's threatening a fork. Magnus took. He took back with the knight. You can't take with the pawn because you lose a rook. So takes back with the queen and now rook here. The point is you can't take this rook because I take with the queen, and if you take with the rook you get back rank mated. So he has to give up the queen. And Wesley So is up a queen for a rook. And he has 50 seconds to convert. I think this is Wesley So's match here. Very hard to hold. You just win this pawn now. Yeah, he takes it. The only hope in Magnus's position is this passer B pawn. But the rook is coming, yep, to A7, A2, and now moves like queen F6 will be very annoying. He played queen F5, also eyeing this rook. Uh, wow, what a tactics. So this we saw this tactic. He took this pawn. You take, then you lose this. So he pushed this, takes, and he just sidesteps, prevents the promotion of the pawn. And with this, I think now if you try something like this, you lose this pawn. And Wesley So wins the first blitz game with black pieces. Wow, amazing. So Magnus Carlsen has to win with black pieces now in order to at least force things into Armageddon. I think the turning point was that move c4, c5, sorry, c5 was a very strong move. Yeah, c5, I think Magnus just missed. This back rank weakness. Yeah, one blunder and it's all over. Okay, let's go back to Tamur and Nepomniachtchi. What is happening here? Nepo has to just draw and Tamur has to win in order to go into blitz. Okay, so that sequence happened, it seems. I mentioned that if Nepomniachtchi checks, the king will hide here. That's exactly what happened. And now bishop e4, I guess. Yes. Rook a3, h4, just clamping maybe the movement of these pawns. f5, wow. Now he's probably... Oh, he's running the king the other way. Okay. And he's forcing an exchange here. Is this a... Wait. So Nepomniachtchi is a pawn down in a bishop and pawn endgame with the same color bishop. Here, king up, yes, king up. I thought bishop here was necessary, but maybe not. Now he'll clamp the movements of these pawns. This might be a draw, even with that extra pawn. Unless you try for something like this. Okay, he goes there first. Now you... They are playing very quickly now. Oh, and we have g5, g4, g5. If you take, I take back. Now Nepomniachtchi has spent 30 seconds for the entire match. I mean, come on. It's a rapid game and he has been playing on the increment. This guy's playing like a bullet game. Takes and I think... Oh, he takes with the king. Ah, interesting idea. takes with the king, stops the. So this king is cut off right now. But is this enough to win? I'm not sure. It seems like a draw. How do you make progress? Or maybe you can. Here? Okay, he pushed h6, takes. Oh, now it's a. Okay, they just drew the game. And Nepomniachtchi wins the third place because he won two games. Uh, but I thought this was winning for Tamur. I don't know. At some point. I feel like this f5, f4 move was not good. You're kind of giving away the shield which your king had. And that allowed this repetition, and then he traded a rook which was not ideal. But anyway, I think they were not so interested in playing also. Maybe it's just third position. We are just waiting for the last blitz match to start. Wesley So versus Magnus Carlsen. The first game was won by Wesley So, who found a beautiful idea. Uh, I guess they will start sometime soon. Let's see. Mm, oh, okay. We can analyze with the engine for the end game. So we were here, and this is the point where, okay, so it's showing point one, which is not. Okay, it seems like with best play it might have been a draw. Although at this point there was some advantage. And engine is suggesting just bringing this piece up. Oh, now this check is there. Wait, what was the continuation? Check. Here takes. Here. Oh. Okay, it's maybe if all the precise moves were played, you never know. But one wrong king move, I guess, and it was a draw. I think here Tamur had some chance if he had thrown in this. But after that, there's nothing. Oh, there was nothing there. Maybe, yeah. Because one extra pawn, maybe that's the engine evaluation, but that can never promote with the same. Yeah, okay. So let's go back to Wesley and Carlsen. The second game, the second blitz game. Let me turn off the engine. Okay. And Wesley so is with white pieces. He just needs a draw to win this tournament. What is this opening? 1 second. We have e4. Okay, Sicilian. e4, c5, and then this d6. This is like the Najdorf thing or what? I don't know the name exactly. I always get confused. Uh, b6. Planning for bishop b7. White has all the pieces on the first rank except the knight. Do you also want to develop your bishop this way? Like Sicilian bishop b5 variation. Oh, okay. Yeah, these. He goes for c5, c4. Sorry, c4. Interesting. Maybe knight just comes to c3 next. Yeah, knight comes to c3. Knight comes to e5. Knight takes. By this point, I feel like all lines are well known only. Everybody knows everything. Yeah, took. So Magnus has voluntarily doubled his pawns on the e5, but that gives him an extra control over the f4 and the d4 square. We have a3 here. Okay, you don't want to develop that way through the fianchetto, maybe. Okay, so that's why we saw this kind of development. Knight back, bishop comes to e3. Let's see, takes. I am happy because then I'll be hitting this in the future. Knight and queen are currently defending that pawn, but you always have moves like knight a4, maybe adding one more attacker. Queen c7 here played by black. Magnus has to win, remember. It's a must-win game for him. I'm thinking maybe what is rook b2 do? I'm not sure about rook b2. Like, what's the idea? Does he just want to go queen b1 and say that I'll take here and then attack this? Maybe that's the idea. Rook b1, rook b2 followed by queen b1 is the idea by Wesley. And how do you defend this weakness? So that's the disadvantage of playing so many pawn moves on your queen side early on. You have a weakness for the opponent to target. So he takes it immediately so that this was not possible. And now if you take, I'm happy to take and create a passed pawn of my own. And if you push, then this weakness is fixed for now. And I get a passer. So interesting way to continue here. Like if you see this, you take, and you take again. Now if you play queen b1, I have moves like rook here. I also have knight b5, which is an outpost actually for my knight. So yeah, he played knight b5, attacking the queen. And now you have moves like knight here. Take and you take this. He first played queen c2. Maybe he wants to double up the rook and then go for... Oh, he plays rook a1. He doesn't want this pawn to become any sort of threat. If you take, I'll just take back with the rook and I'm happy. This d3 pawn might be a weakness in the future, like when the knight moves somewhere. Right now the bishop and queen both are defending this pawn, but you never know. Let's see. So what does black play here? Black, I think, wants to eliminate this knight because this bishop is not going to become active anytime soon. So maybe you just take it. But then white gets a... White already has a passed pawn, which can become dangerous. Mm, not sure. He just played h6 here, Magnus. I don't know what h6 does. Maybe it's just a waiting move to see what Wesley is planning. Maybe Wesley will also respond with something like h3. No, he goes for this move, which attacks the bishop. Yeah, it seemed like white has a pleasant position. Now he'll just take... Oh, he comes back. Oh, he's happy with a draw. That's the problem for Magnus. He can't afford a draw. So he'll have to think of something. If he repeats, then Wesley will be happy to repeat. Wow. This is... So maybe he has to take if Magnus wants any chance. Takes. Oh, Wesley will repeat for sure. No? c5. c5 is an interesting move. But then it gives away this square. Actually, this bishop can come here as well, right? Like right now I was thinking, not after c5. After c5 you can't come here, obviously. But why is Wesley thinking? Oh, he doesn't repeat the position. So Wesley is saying, I want to win. I don't need a draw. I want a win. And knight to c5 has been played. Now maybe the pieces might start coordinating, putting some pressure here. Wesley should not give... Oh, how do you defend this? He pushes it to defend. Now can you just snatch it like this? Oh, you can't. Takes. He first defends. Yeah, I was calculating this because in the end there could be this possibility where this queen was hanging. Wow, what is this? Position is playing out very. Knight to b3 attacking the rook, and Wesley plays knight to a7. And maybe he'll take this bishop. If you take the rook, I take your other bishop and take the knight. So, but that was only because white had rook takes a8 in that. Oh, is it in that line? Maybe. I'll come back to that line again. What happened here is he took it, so you have to take back and now just save the rook. Okay, we were looking at this line where after this I was suggesting takes here, takes, 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 takes. No, this wasn't working as such, right? Takes. Oh, this is working. No, this check is there. And you pick up this. Oh, hello, hello, Lara X. Uh, so here they just exchanged a piece, and now if rook takes a4, queen takes a4. Oh, I see. Okay, okay. You don't take back with the rook. Because the queen was on c2. And here Wesley took the knight because that knight was very powerful on d4. And he pushes this pawn. Wait, why did he push that pawn? He just gave a free pawn? Takes. Wesley has. Oh, both of them have 8 second, 10 second. What is this? Such an intense game. Magnus is making some progress. Wesley so down on time. What a tactics. But this might be losing now. Yeah, this is lost. Oh no. Wesley so lost the game. Crazy. Magnus wins with black pieces. Wow, what a. I think this final blunder. So you see, if you take the rook, you get forked. But a very clear move, you just take back. Sorry, you just push the pawn to f5, and if you take, you lose the rook. And then even if you do this, you have this check here, here, and this pawn is promoting. And now it's Armageddon. I don't know. I think Wesley will have the option to choose the color because he finished higher in the standings. So let's see what Wesley chooses. Maybe he'll choose black because he won with the black pieces and lost with white. But yeah, and also he can just hold. Very exciting game here upcoming. Meanwhile, I think the third place game is already over, so there is no Armageddon or any Blitz there. I was rooting for Wesley but he kind of messed up in this game. I felt like at some point he was better, but this A pawn seemed to be a huge asset in Black's position. He just won the game because of that. The margin of error is very small in these games. Here, here, and here, game over. Uh, so maybe C5. Oh, at that point, before here, C5? We can actually check till what point Magnus was worse or better. I don't know. Oh, that one. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that free pawn was just a blunder. Oh, now black is already better. Wow. Yeah, this is just a blunder, this C5. Magnus found all the best moves later on, putting a lot of pressure. I think maybe that was working. So we were looking at this position here. Let's see. This was the moment, right? Yeah, the best move is just take here. Takes, 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 and queen takes. I think this was the best continuation. I was looking at rook takes but yeah, queen takes I think was working. Because now if you take, I just take back with the queen. Wow. Cool. So this game, 10 games happened today so far. Last game, Armageddon, the very final of final. If anybody who is watching hasn't subscribed to the channel, then do subscribe. Oh wait, what was the command for subscription? I think sub, not subs. Oh, hello, Arnav. It went to Armageddon, man. Magnus had to win in Blitz and he won with black pieces. Now the final match will happen. Oh, hello, Jad. Uh, let's see who wins with. Oh, Wesley has chosen black. So here, Wesley just needs a draw in order to win the tournament. and Magnus will have to force things. He will have 1 minute less, and Wesley will have 1 minute extra, and Magnus will have to, push for a win. He can't draw. This is going to be exciting. Let's predict. I think Magnus will go for d4, and Wesley will reply with e6. Sorry, knight d4, knight f6, c4, e6. These are my first few moves prediction. Let's see. And then maybe what do they play normally? Knight f3, and then black will play, I don't know, d5, something like this. So if we reach this position, then I will be happy. Although that might not lead to, maybe Magnus will try to complicate matters with b4 or something, or some random preparation which he has, possible, very much possible. A blitz out Berlin. Let's see. When will the game start? Should start soon. Draw means victory for so. Yes. Last time, I think when Wesley So and Carlsen met in this format, Wesley So was the winner. This game, we don't know. So meanwhile, let's play a game. Why not? The game hasn't started yet, so try something different here. Oh, what is this here? Okay. This pawn, I can just play this move maybe. Here. As soon as the game start, I will switch to the commentary. This knight move. Here. Can this move work? Okay, let's go here. Oh, this check. Oh, match has started. Okay. I am going to switch. 1 second. Final match has started, guys. Mm, mm. Okay, I think I should go back to the game now. Uh, okay, let's go back to the game. We win that one. Uh, the final Armageddon match is here. Oh, all my predictions went wrong. It's e4. e4, knight f3. Then we have this Italian kind of structure. c3, b4, a4, knight d2, d6, rook e1, knight back to e7, d4, takes, and we have d5, e5, knight comes to h5, bishop comes back to f1, knight f4, knight moves to b3, knight g6, a5 here, bishop goes back, takes the knight on f5, queen d2 logical, knight goes back because this was threatened, knight comes to c5. This bishop is kind of dead. Remember, white has to win. White is already better, yes, that is true. White looks much better visually. Black's rook is doing nothing. This bishop is blocked. This bishop hasn't moved. This knight is loose. So white is better. Developing move, attacking this. Wesley so closes down the position. Bishop comes back to c2. Rook e8. And he takes the knight finally. But white has this very good pawn in the center. Rook b1, rook b8 played. Rook e3 now. Wesley so already down on time it seems. How did that happen? Lot of moves happened it seems. Magnus has more time than Wesley so. Even though Wesley so started with 1 minute extra on the clock. Nice move attacking this. Takes the pawn, but Magnus wins this pawn, and now this pawn is a passer. Knight comes back. Can he just push? Yes, he pushes. Now this pawn is hanging. He can also give a check, maybe. Takes, and then put the rook behind. Yes, he gives a check. Takes, put a rook behind. Wow. Knight here attacks this. Loses this pawn. Loses this pawn as well. Oh, Magnus wins. Wesley resigns. Wow. Crazy. Wow. Magnus holds and wins with white pieces on demand. Back-to-back wins by Magnus. Wesley so couldn't hold up with the pressure and Wesley so resigned here. Magnus Carlsen again proving to be unbeatable. Wow. Oh, we have Arnav Vasan challenging 3 minute. Very nice. Oh, he knows this line, man. That's the problem. Maybe this move. That was not the best move. Yeah, that's the problem. So let's take this. Now let's bring our bishop back. Maybe put our knight here. So Magnus Carlsen wins the tournament. He was black with he was white with Armageddon in the Armageddon against Wesley, but he managed to put pressure both on position and on the clock. Let's see, let's develop this piece. Let's take this. If he takes with a pawn, what will be my response? I'm not sure. Maybe just knight here. Uh, Here he was threatening to trap my bishop. Okay, he was threatening some sort of ideas. Like here bishop goes back, takes. Maybe I can exchange a rook. Okay. Now we should have something. This check. This move. This pawn is also hanging, so yeah, I could have been a pawn up, I think. Let's play this, attacking this. And here I have some ideas. Okay, he's going for this. Can I just take this? And go for this maybe? Oh, I'm low on time. Okay, let's do this. Here. This is mate. Nice. Okay. Wow, I think I should end the stream on this high note. Uh, Thanks everyone for tuning in. I have been streaming for quite a bit. How much? Uh, yeah, more than 3.5 hours. Yes, bro. I don't think I'll get a higher note to finish the stream. 3 minute win. Now it's on record. You said that I have never defeated you in 3 minutes. Here is the proof. Okay, one more. Okay, let's play one more. What do you do here? Okay, let's take this. Attack this. Double attack on this piece. Pin this. Uh, Here. Does this work? Okay, he sacrifices an exchange. Takes. Takes. Now maybe this move. Let's see. I have some back rank weaknesses, it seems. I will first get rid of that. Now let's come here. Oh man, I lost a piece somehow. I don't even know when. Uh, what is happening here? Oh, time. I lost on time. But I was lost on position also. So, doesn't matter. I think I was winning at some point, but lost the thread somewhere. Yeah, here I was up. No, not up, but I had like, yeah, here I blundered, I think, with this move. Maybe I could have gone for something like this. Takes, takes. Yeah, possible. But good game, good game. Whew. Okay, okay, I will end the stream, guys. Don't want to prolong this. I have to take a break now. Good game or no. I'll see everybody in the next stream next week, maybe. Until then, enjoy the videos which are coming every day. Also, subscribe to the channel. Many people were saying that they are not getting notifications for the videos, so make sure you hit the subscribe, like the bell icon. Okay, cool. Until next time, see you. Take care, everyone.